So once again, thanks to everyone for participating with us here this afternoon. We're joined by RaiQuan Gray, and we'll begin the press conference. Don't forget, use the raised hand function to indicate you'd like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please be sure to state your name and affiliation first. And our first question here this afternoon will come from Mike with the Orlando Sentinel. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, RaiQuan, congratulations on the victory. I'm just curious, obviously you guys didn't get to play last year. How much are you guys sort of playing for last year's team? And also, how confident are you guys that you'll be able to make a run after today?
Yeah, like you said, last year we didn't get to, participate in this tournament. Everyone, was shut down, but we're kind of playing for the guys that came before us. They set a legacy. We made some runs to the Sweet 16 Elite Eight, and I think that, we're confident that we have the team and the talent to, get to that Final Four and actually go over that hump. So, we're counting a lot of pride with us at Florida State, our university, and, the guys that came before us. So, that's definitely our motivation, going forward, just to, have last year's team on our mind and, just advancing for this year's team. So.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question there, Mike. And next up, Corey Clark from Warchant.com. Corey, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, RaiQuan, you guys didn't hit a three, and you only attempted one in the second half. What was the message at halftime? Obviously, you got Balsa going early in the second half. It just seemed like Coach told you, we're going downhill. Don't shoot threes, get to the basket.
Not necessarily. I think we just, took what the defense gave us. We knew that we had a height advantage and a strength advantage on those guys, and we didn't want to settle for jump shots. And I think with that, our game plan coming in was to, attack the paint and use our athleticism to, get to the basket and, just take what the defense gives us. And we missed some shots, but I think that, our defense was what really pulled us through in this game. So, regardless of how our offense was, I think the defense was the key thing that, pulled this win out for us. So.
Thanks for your question there, Corey. Next up, we'll turn to Kurt Weiler with the Tallahassee Democrat. Kurt, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question.
RaiQuan, I think MJ had 4 points and Scotty had 4 points. I mean, it's not a new thing, just the depth of this team and how many different guys can do it. But what's to say about this team? I mean, being able to win an NCAA tournament game when those guys give you less than 10 points total.
Like I said before, those guys go out and play defense regardless of how, their offensive game is going. And we got a whole team that, can come in and defend anybody. I think that that's what we rely on, especially in the tournament time. All your shots not going to fall. You're going to miss some easy baskets, but, you can control what you do on the defensive end and, how much effort you play with. And those guys did that. Scotty's going to bring energy every day. MJ's a poised senior, and he's been here before. And he want to win. So, regardless of if their shots is falling or not, they were going to play defense and defend and, make sure we got this win. So I really appreciate those guys, coming out tonight and, giving that effort.
Thank you, Kurt, for your question. For our next question, we'll turn to Lane Hurt with Seminoles.com. Lane, please unmute yourself in a moment here and ask your question.
Hey, RaiQuan, how important was your team's composure today? With a team like that, they kept fighting back, fighting back. It could be easy to get frustrated, but you guys were able to keep your composure and each time kind of move that lead back out.
I think that we just learned from our mistakes in the past. Obviously these last few games, the last couple of weeks of the regular season that, you can go to Georgia Tech game, we're up in that game, and the North Carolina game, and, things like that. So I think we just learned from our mistakes, and, we limited our turnovers. We still turned the ball over a little too much today, but I think that, at the end of the game, we just kind of, learn from our past games, taking care of the ball when we needed to, getting quality shots, moving the ball, and, like I said before, getting stops on defense. And that was the key thing that we did down the stretch that we didn't do in the past games that we lost when we were up. So, defense and, just playing smart basketball on the offensive end is really what helped us tonight.
Okay, thanks for your question there, Lane. Moving on, let's turn to John Teetle with hoopshd.com. John?
Thanks, John Titel from hoopshd.com. RaiQuan, I know it must seem like a lifetime ago, but I believe your last tournament game 2 years ago, you went scoreless against Gonzaga. I was curious either how has your skill set progressed from 2 years ago, and or did you learn anything from that loss that you think helped you or will help you this year?
I'm an older guy. I think that my maturity was a huge thing, going back to 2 years ago. I think I was kind of anxious back then, just excited to play as a redshirt freshman. Now I'm an older guy, and I'm one of the leaders on the team that guys look at and lean on. So I think I have to be composed throughout all situations and, just play my game. My teammates believe in me, my coaching staff believe in me. If I just go out there and play my game, I think that, I'll be fine. But, definitely the maturity thing is, the comparison from 2 years ago.
Go back to Mike with the Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, RaiQuan, the ACC didn't have such a great opening day of the tournament. Looks like you guys might be carrying the torch for the league. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of control. We control. We can't control what the other teams play or if they win or not. But I mean, it's kind of sad to see those teams go away so quick. But I mean, like I said, we're going to control. We control, and Colorado's our next opponent. We're looking forward to those guys, and we definitely want to represent the ACC in a good fashion. So, obviously, we're going to take pride in that and try to win this thing for our conference, and show that we're the best conference in the country.
Corey with Warchant.com, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, RaiQuan, I was wondering, did Coach Hamilton even tell you guys he had hurt himself? And I guess he's still standing. He looks like the same guy, even with, I guess, a ruptured Achilles. And I know he's a serious dude, but do you make fun of him at all? Are you guys allowed to do that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fun guy, so I mean, he don't really mind. But we saw him just walking to practice one day with a boot on, and he explained to us what happened. He kind of keep things to himself to limit distractions on our team. So obviously, that's our head coach. We care about him, about his health and stuff like that. But he's a tough guy. He doesn't really can tell us how he's feeling or complain about it. So he just want to keep going, and that's what we kind of take on the mentality, just keep going and not let the things bother us. So I mean, but he's a tough guy. We crack jokes here and there about him walking around in his boot, but that's our guy. We're going to go out there and play for him. So.
Thanks for that question, Corey. Matt Merschel from the Orlando Sentinel. Matt, you can unmute yourself here in a second. Ask your question.
Yeah, RaiQuan, how big was it for Balsa early on in the second half to kind of get you guys going, maybe as you guys were maybe coming out of the intermission? What would you see of his performance today?
It was huge. We depend on him a lot, inside for rebounds, block shots, scoring. And when he's aggressive, I think that's when we're at our best. He's a huge part of our team, but when he's going, I think that we're definitely a high-level team. And, we tell him all the time we have confidence in him. So just to play his game. And I think, obviously being the first game in his first tournament game, he had to settle down a little bit. But I think he did that coming out in the second half. And obviously you saw we wanted to run when he was playing, aggressive and being who he was. So, I mean, he had a great performance, and I think that he's going to keep building off of it. And, sky's the limit for him. And I think that he's going to be a huge part of our tournament run this year.
Thanks, Matt. Time for another couple of questions. Matt, you have a follow-up there?
Yeah. Do you know anything about, obviously, you guys are going to play Colorado. Do you guys know anything of Colorado going into this next game?
I mean, I've watched them a few times, just late night up on ESPN and stuff like that. Caught a few Pac-12 games, but I mean, as a team, we haven't really sat down and discussed those guys yet, and I think we'll do that later tonight. Once we get back and settled. And they're a good team. Obviously, not many teams make it to the round 32, and they're one of those teams. So obviously, they're a good team, and they come out of a great conference in it. And it's going to be a good basketball game. So I think that we're going to have to come in with that same mentality, just trying to win the game by all means, and let the chips fall where they fall. And obviously, they're a good team, like I said before. But we're just going to game plan later today and find out some things about them.
Thank you.
Go to Mike with the Orlando Sentinel.
So you guys didn't know that Coach Hamilton had ruptured his Achilles until he shows up at practice in a boot. Is that right? And do you guys borrow from his toughness? I mean, he's walking around out there like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he just came to practice one day and he's a little late, just walking in with a boot, and we kind of just asked and he explained. So, I mean, but yeah, like I said before, he's a tough guy. That's how he, instills toughness in us. He doesn't like to complain about anything or, let little things bother him. So, I mean, he's walking around as if, he's healthy 100%, even though, regardless of how he's feeling, he's going to show up every day and, be the same coach and, be that leader for us. And I think that we leaned on that a lot. And, seeing him walk around in the boot is like, extra motivation to go out there and play for something. That's our guy and that's our head coach, and we all love him. So,
Okay, thanks, Mike. As we start to wrap up here, Chris Heidel, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my question. What does this mean to win today after last week's tough loss to Georgia Tech in the championship game? What did you guys do to be more focused on winning this first round match?
I mean, obviously, it means a lot. First off, it means a lot. Not many teams can, advance in around 32. We just had to, be ourselves. I think that, the AC championship game was not the team that we're capable of. I think today was just a snippet of it. I think we want to keep getting better as we advance throughout the tournament. But I think we just went out today and was ourselves. We defended. We got after it. We rebounded, played tough, and made some great plays down the stretch. And that's who we are. That's our identity. So I think as long as we keep being ourselves, we have a chance to win this championship. And that's our mentality going to each game, just to be ourselves and and let the chips fall where they fall.
Okay. Finally, Mike.
No, I didn't have any more questions. Thank you.
You're good. Okay. Thanks. Well, then Benjamin Meyerson, you're last up.
Hey, RaiQuan. I was just wondering, you guys have you succeeded this year with your offense. You're the #1 scoring team in the ACC. But this game, you really relied on your defense. Can you just talk about how important that is and, especially in the tournament, how that can really lead to success for you guys?
I mean, it's super important. I think that, not many people view as a defensive team, but if Florida State basketball and Coach Ham, that, we're junkyard dogs. We get after it on the defensive end. I think we had a few slip-ups in these last few games, and, we know we're capable of on the defensive end, and I think that we showed that a little bit tonight. And we still can clean some things up, but I think our defense is going to take us to where we need to be. And, defense win championship, that's what everyone's saying. I mean, that's what we believe in. That's what our coaches preach, and, that's what we're going to rely on, regardless of how our offense is. We can always fall back on our defense and effort, and then that's what they preach us, and that's what we're going to do, for the rest of the tournament.
RaiQuan, thank you so much. Congratulations again. Best of luck in the next round.
Thank you.
And everyone will be joined